Journey to the West, an audio drama series. Chapter 20, Part 1. Xuanzang, being a religious master with the gateways of cultivation open to him, fully comprehended the Heart Sutra. He was mindful of what he learned as he continued to make breakthroughs on his own. The three of them feasted on wind and lodged by water, carrying the moon and stars on their shoulders. Before long, the hot days of summer arrived. Cicadas screeched and silkworms became cocoons as new lotus flowers emerged from ponds. One evening as they were walking, just as it was getting dark, they saw a cottage by the mountain roadside. Sanzang said, "Wukong, the sun is setting in the west mountains, hiding that mirror of fire, while the moon is rising from the east seas, showing its wheel of ice. How fortunate we are that there is a household by the road. Let's go ask for one night's lodging and head out tomorrow." Bajie agreed. "That's right. Old Board is getting hungry as well. Let's head for a home and ask for a vegetarian meal. Once I regain my strength, I can carry the luggage again." Xingzhe remarked, "You homesick rascal! How many days has it been since you even left home and you are already complaining?" Bajie said, "Elder brother, I'm not like you who drinks wind and farts smoke. Do you have any idea that ever since I started following our master, though the days are few, I was constantly only half full?" Sanzang heard his words and said, "Wuneng, if your heart still heavily leans homeward and is not one suited for leaving the family, you can make your way back." The fool hurriedly knelt down and said, "Master, don't you listen to elder brother. He's just slandering me. I never complained about anything, but he kept saying I did. I'm just a fool who speaks my mind. I was just saying that I was hungry and it's time to find a place for a vegetarian meal, and he accused me of being a homesick rascal. Master, I have accepted the commandments from Bodhisattva and am blessed by your mercy. I am more than willing to escort you to the West Heaven. I swear I will never back out or regret. This shall be my cultivation through suffering." How are these words not from someone who has left the family? Sanzang then said, "If that's the case, do get up." The fool hopped back on his feet, still muttering to himself as he put the carrying pole on his shoulder. He had no other choice but commit himself fully till the end, and headed forward after them. Soon they arrived at the gate of the roadside residence. Sanzang got off the horse before Xingzhe took over the reins. Bajie dropped the luggage and the three stood under the shade of a tree. Holding his 9-ringed staff, Sanzang pressed his bamboo hat and headed for the entrance. An old man could be seen reclining on the bamboo bed as he quietly recited Buddha's chants. Sanzang dared not speak in a loud voice, so he only called out slowly, "Benefactor, please excuse our presence." The old man rolled over and jumped back on his feet. He straightened his clothes and came out of the gate to greet him in return. "Apologies for the belated welcome, elder. Where are you from? What brought you to my humble gates?" Sanzang answered, "This humble cleric is a monk from the Great Tang in the land of the East. By imperial edict, I am heading to the Temple of Thunderclap to see Buddha and seek scriptures. It was getting late as we arrived at your respected region. We were hoping to lodge at your illustrious residence for one night. We pray that you could allow us to do that." The old man waved his hands and shook his head, saying, "You can't go there. The West Heaven is an impossible place for scriptures. If you want them, head for the East Heaven instead." Sanzang remained silent, but thought to himself grimly, "Bodhisattva pointed our way westward. Why is this old man telling us to go eastward? What scripture is there in the East?" Uneasy and at a loss for words, he couldn't formulate an answer for a long time. We now turn to Xingzhe, who was naturally unruly and had a short temper. He went up and yelled, "That old man over there, your old age brought you no sophistication about matters. We are just people who have left the family, coming from far away to ask for lodging in your home, and you are here intimidating us with your off-putting words. If your house is really so tiny and has nowhere for us to sleep, we can still sit under the tree for one night and it won't cause any disturbance to you." The old man clutched Sanzang and asked, "Master, why aren't you talking? Look at that disciple of yours. Look at his pointed face, sunken chin, thunder god's mouth, and red eyes, just like a demon ill with consumption. Why is he offending an aged man like me?" Xingzhe laughed and said, "You old men have no vision. Those you call pretty are only pleasant to the eye but have no use. I, elder son, may be small in size, but my body is quite tough. My skin, in fact, wraps around a bundle of ligaments." The old man said, "I guess you must have some tricks up your sleeves." Xingzhe replied, "I dare not bluff, but they are passable." The old man asked, "Where are you from? For what reason did you shave and become a monk?" Xingzhe answered, "Elder son's ancestral land is the water-curtained cave on mountain of flower and fruit, which lies in the kingdom of Aolai across the east seas of Provideha, continent of the east. I learned to be a monster spirit since a young age, calling myself Wukong. I then earned myself the title of heaven-equaling great sage with my powers. It was only because I rejected heaven's appointment and rebelled against them that I brought disaster upon myself. Now that I have shed the calamities and converted to Buddhism, I am heading forward for the true fruit. To protect my master who serves the Tang dynasty, I will brave out the way to West Heaven and see Buddha. I fear no high mountain or dangerous road, wide waters or turbulent waves. Elder Sun is also capable of capturing monsters and subduing demons. I can tame tigers and seize dragons, head up to the skies and down into the earth. I can do all those things. If anything in your house is throwing bricks or hitting tiles, making your pots scream and your doors fly open, Elder Sun will be able to help you put the trouble to rest." The old man listened to his words and burst into laughter. "So you really are a fibber of a monk who runs around for a meal?" Wukong retorted. "The real fibber is your son. These days, when I'm walking with my master on the tiring journey, I would rather not talk at all." The old man said, "If you're not tired, or if you're actually willing to talk, wouldn't you just chatter me to death? Since you have such powers, you should be able to head west, that's for sure. How many are you out there? Please come inside and rest in my thatched cottage." Sanzang answered, "Thank you, elderly benefactor, for the mercy of not sending us away. There are 3 of us in total." The old man asked, "Where's the rest?" Xingzhe pointed and said, "This old man can't see clearly. Isn't he right there under the shade?" The old man did have dim eyes. So when he suddenly looked up carefully and saw Bajie's face, he was so scared he stumbled before running wildly into his house, shouting, shut the door, a monster is coming." Xingzhe ran up and grabbed him, saying, "Don't be afraid, old fellow, he's no monster but my junior brother." The old man said in fright, Fine, very fine. One monk is uglier than the other." Bajie walked up and said, "Oh, gentlemen, if you judge people by their looks, you are surely mistaken. We are ugly indeed, but all very useful too." The old man talked to the 3 monks outside the gate, when from south of the cottage came 2 young men. With them was one old woman along with several little boys and girls. They were all barefoot with their clothes rolled up, coming back from planting rice. They saw a white horse, a bundle of luggage, and all the chatter by the gate, and had no idea what was going on. So they all came forward to ask, "What are you doing here?" Bajie turned around, shook his ears, and pointed his long snout forward, which sent everyone falling over in all directions. Panicking, Sanzang repeatedly explained, Be not afraid, we are no evildoers, we are monks seeking scriptures." Only then did the old man walk out the gate and help the old woman up, saying, "Get up, Grandma, don't be frightened. This master comes from Tang dynasty. These disciples have ugly faces, but they have good hearts. Let's take everyone inside." Only then did the old woman clutch the old man as the 2 younger men led the children inside. Sitting on the bamboo bed by the gate, Sanzang complained, "Disciples, the 2 of you have such hideous appearances and coarse language. The way you are scaring this family sick is adding sins to my name." Bajie said, To be honest with you, master, since old Bo started following your way, I have already become better looking now. If I were walking like how I used to back at the old Gao village, just pointing my snout forward and flapping my ears sideways, I would have scared 24 people to death. Xingzhe laughed and said, Quit blabbering, fool! Try to fix that ugliness of yours. Sanzang said, Wukong, do you even know what you're saying? Appearance comes with birth. How could he possibly fix it? Xingzhe explained, Put that rake of a mouth of yours under your arm and don't take it out. Have those fanning ears tucked behind and don't flap them. That's what I call fixing. Bajie really did put his mouth underneath and tucked his ears behind. Bowing his head, he stood by his master. Xingzhe then brought their belongings inside the door and had the white horse tied to a pole. Then came the old man, followed by a young man holding a flat tray, inside of which were 3 cups of clear tea to be served. Once they were done with the tea, a vegetarian meal was arranged. The youngster also brought out an old unlacquered table with dents, and later 2 stools with crooked legs. They were placed in the courtyard, and the 3 guests were invited to sit down where it was cool. Sanzang only then asked, May I ask the illustrious family name of the elderly benefactor? The old man answered, This humble fellow goes by the name of Wang. How many heirs do you have? He answered, 2 sons and 3 young grandchildren. Sanzang said, Congratulations, congratulations. He then asked, What is your age? The old man answered, I have foolishly lived to my 61st year. Xingzhe exclaimed, Good, good, very good. That's the start of another sexagenary cycle. Sanzang again asked, Elderly benefactor, you were just saying that it was difficult to seek scriptures from the West Heaven. Why is that? The old man answered, The scriptures are not hard to find. It's only that the roads are bitter and difficult to cross. West from here, about 30 li away, lies a mountain. It is called 800里黄风岭, or Yellow Wind Ridge of 800 li. Many a monster roam those mountains. That's why I said the scriptures are hard to get. But if you bring this young elder here who said he has many tricks up his sleeves, then you should be able to make the journey. Xingzhe said, No worries at all. With Elder Sun and this junior brother of mine here, no monster will dare mess with me regardless of who they are. As they were talking, the sons brought out bowls of rice and placed them on the table, telling them, Enjoy the vegetarian meals. Sanzang then folded his palms and began his grace. By then, Bajie had already swallowed a bowl full of food. The elder was barely done with his short prayers when the fool took down another 3 bowls. Xingzhe remarked, What a stuffer! We're having ourselves a starving ghost here. Seeing how fast he was eating, old Wang was sensible enough to say, I guess the elder is indeed very hungry. Do bring out more rice. The fool really had a huge appetite as he gulped down dozens of bowls in a row without even lifting his head. Sanzang and Xingzhe each barely had 2 bowls, but the fool showed no sign of stopping and was still eating. Old Wang said, It's been a long, busy day and we couldn't offer a feast, so I dare not press you to have more. But please have another bite. Sanzang and Xingzhe both said, We've had enough. Bajie, on the other hand, said, The old man isn't being straightforward. Who is offering to tell your fortune? Speak no more of fortune or feast. If you have more rice, just give it to me. It only took the fool 1 meal to finish up all the family's rice, and still, he said, he was only half full. Later, they put away the utensils and laid out bamboo beds in the house for the guests to rest. The next morning, Xingzhe went to prepare the horses' reins, while Bajie went to pack up their luggage. Old Wang also asked the old madam to prepare some dim sum and soup to serve the guests. After that, the group of 3 bid farewell and went on their way. The old man said, If anything goes wrong on the road ahead, please do return to my thatched cottage. Xingzhe said, Old fellow, don't talk nonsense like that. We are people who have left the family. There's no turning back for us. And so, on their horse and with the luggage on their shoulders, they headed westward. Alas, what awaited them was certainly no good road that led to the west, for no doubt evil monsters will bring huge disasters.